About whatever I can find that piques my interest and entertains the fuck out of my mind. Sometimes people ask me what I'm about. I don't know. Hey, I'm Bam Bam, and I'm back, baby. Yeah, my bad. I took a little bit of a hiatus because I've been drinking like you wouldn't believe it. I've been hanging out with my buddies because it's been a year and a half since we've been hanging out. I went to Fort Erie, went to King Cardin a bunch of times. It's all on Lake Huron. If you want to go check it out and Google it, and then check it the fuck out. I'm gonna post some videos. We're gonna put it on YouTube. I'm gonna put this whole story of my adventures, Bam Bam and Friends, which I might call it, which I might not. I don't know. But anyways, it sounds like fun, right? We had a blast. I got so fucked up on... Gotta stop vaping. I got so fucked up on the envy mushrooms and some gold caps. It's just been non-stop fucking cottage, hotel, camping, mushrooms, and me and my buddies. Sweet baby Jesus, man. Oh my God. But anyways, so let's get beyond that. So I'm going to read you something. The word conspiracy. Everyone knows that. Do you know that? Conspiracy? What's the definition? Well, let me read it to you. The definition of conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. Okay, let's move along. Conspiracy theory. The definition of that is a belief that some convert by influential organizations in responsible for a circumstance or event. Now, I'm random as fuck. Well, that's why I have the name randomness in my name. General Public Podcast Randomness with Bam Bam. On today's podcast, I've been trying to get this guy for a while, and I finally fucking got him. This dude is awesome. He is fucking, he knows too much. He knows too much. Like, Jesus. He's so educated in these things. It might not be real. It might be fake. It might be real. It might be, I don't know. You never know. Didn't the Pentagon just release over 50 years of hiding UFOs, Area 51 and aliens? The Pentagon has finally, in 2021, well, actually in 2020, they started this, but started releasing information about UFOs, which they call UFIs. Right? I love conspiracies. It's almost like a scientific book. Or not scientific, what's the word I'm looking for? Science fiction book, right? It's a story that maybe someone made up. They came up with something in their mind, and I have my own ideas about religion and how mushrooms are religion. It's actually our heaven because we're energy sources. But if you go listen to my other podcast, I talk all about that, and one day I'll talk about it some more. But what I'm saying is I love to entertain the ideas of conspiracy theories because they're so goddamn interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, on my podcast, I never say ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and cunts, welcome to my podcast. He also has a podcast. It's called Dangerous World Pod. You can find him if you go to my Instagram. He likes a lot of my stuff. His name is Ryan. He's fucking, what a dude, man. This guy, he's so much knowledge. All right, here we go. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to hear some shit that's just gonna fucking fuck up your mind? Probably. Here we go. Dangerous World Podcast on my podcast. Bam Bam.
So I'm assuming that you don't censor, right? You do like full cussing, full whatever.
Full whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. Pussy, tits, perfect. Ass, clap, whatever you want. I don't care.
There we go, dude.
That's why I do podcasting. It's uncensored, free media.
Yeah, well, that's so far it is.
Actually, you know, the CTRC tried to go after. Our government tried to pass something called Bill C-10, and the guy, I forget his name, but the electoral there under Trudeau that put together the Bill C-10. I was listening to him on news radio, talking to one of the journalists about it, and the dude couldn't even explain it. Like, you wrote the fucking
Really?
thing, and he didn't even understand what he was saying. Even the journalist was like, it blows my mind. This guy is trying to pass Bill C-10, which is like a censorship. It would basically give the CTRC power to regulate like social media. Like they say they wanted to put it in so they could protect, you know, children and people like Facebook and like murderous posts or weird postings. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like censor that. But in fine print, which they ended up taking out of the bill because it got caught, was they basically can micromanage any social media platform. So if I'm talking, like, we have liberal parties leading us, if I'm talking too much conservative, they can shut me down if I don't say things along their lines.
That's been a big problem here too, dude. And back to your point about that guy not knowing what the hell he's talking about. A lot of those people don't even really write their bills, and they just act like, you know, they just get credited with it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, he didn't even really write that. That was a Jesuit priest that wrote it. Someone tied in with the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. They wrote the thing for him, and then they put his name on there. And then, you know, in that Reichstag fire, this Jesuit priest that wrote it for him actually died, dude. Like, he died in the false flag attack that was the Reichstag thing. So it's weird, dude. I mean, like, the same playbook just goes over and over and over again, dude. And it repeats itself throughout history. And I'm doing a mind control series on my show right now. And it goes back to the 1800s in Europe, dude. Like, they've been really trying to make sure that everyone, without even really knowing, is just part of the system. And, you know, if you think like Donald Trump, when he gets in office, a lot of people are real excited about that. They think that, you know, this dude's not part of the system, but he's a Freemason. He's a Jesuit. He's, you know, he's just tied in with all these people, dude. And it's just crazy, you know, QAnon and all that crazy shit. No one really, like, when someone is there to save them, they want to jump on board. You know what I mean? They don't want to question anything like that. And that's how people get fucking dicked around like that. It sucks.
Well, I just don't like how they gave us social media years and years and years ago. You could pretty much do whatever the fuck you want on it. Like, I remember back on YouTube, it was just short clips. You could watch fucking bum fights. You could watch street fights. It was crazy shit. You don't see much of that anymore unless you actually legit look for it. I was on TikTok. I posted a video of me streaking, right? The fucking thing caught it almost instantly and hit me with a nudity and sexual act violation, right? You can't, you see my ass, but I see videos of girls with bikinis where it's basically rammed right up their fucking ass. You don't see my ball sack or anything that's too blurry and too dark, right? Like, and I was holding my hand over my fucking dick, and it pulled me. Instagram didn't pull the video, but what I'm saying is, you allowed this, so how dare you try and change it now? Right? For over a decade, you've allowed all of this. Well, you want your piece? They want their piece of the pie. Fuck off.
Yeah, man. What kind of world are we living in where you can't show your ass on the internet, dude?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what's wrong.
That's sexist. But I see women's asses all the time, and they're posted. I got a cute ass.
Yeah, right. I know. You don't even feel like you're. So it's like a woman's world, is what you're saying, dude. Like, there's no opportunity for a straight white man anymore. That's what the problem really is.
Basically,
we need to just cut to it.
I go crazy on social media trying to boost my numbers and get likes and this and that. And then I go look at a profile with this chick in a bikini, and she posts like barely any pictures. One picture, she got thousands and thousands of likes. You know why? Because we're perverts. It's our fault.
Yeah, dude, and it's a serious problem right now, and that's what, there's always got to be some group that's under attack. And right now, you don't strike me as someone that is very religious. But it is typically like Christian, white, straight males. You know what I mean? That's really the issue here, because throughout time, it's been just about everyone other than that. And so a lot of people can get on board with that, I should say, where they're down to try and persecute these people. And it sounds kind of stupid when you say it because everyone's like, dude, white people have had it good forever. You know what I mean? But that tide's kind of turning, dude. And it's just interesting to see how distraction after distraction comes down. They try to pit groups against each other. And they're trying to start like civil war type situations so we don't fight a revolutionary war or something like that. You know what I mean? They don't want us going against the government. They want us fighting against each other. And that has gone back to the 1800s. Obviously before that, but with like the mind control shit, there's a old psychologist that invented psychology basically. And his name is William Wundt. And this guy is a Nazi sympathizer, big time. I mean, he was all about, before the Nazis were even a thing. The Prussian school system is what modern day school systems are built off of. And it's literally teaching kids how to follow systems rather than how to critically think. And in that Prussian school system, there was 3 different tiers that kids would go to that most smart, educated, usually like highly connected elite kids would go to a certain type of school where they learned how to be world leaders. And then you've got your middle 5% of kids going to a separate school where they all learn how to follow the leader, but also how to implement policies to other kids. So they don't really learn how to critically think, but they also don't learn how to follow systems. And the bottom 94% of kids in this Prussian schooling system in Germany, they literally learn how to follow systems. They have different subjects. They don't master any of them. And then they go out into the world and they just follow those systems, dude. And that's what we're seeing right now, dude. That's like, I didn't learn shit when I was in school. You know, I didn't learn anything that I actually use today, is what I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying that's what they're trying to do now? We have way too much information, and they're like, that's just not good for us. So now they want to censor the information.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking more on like school, like the school system here in the United States at least, and I'm sure Canada's very similar the way that they do it. It's
Depends.
just the Western. Yeah. So like how is your school system there? I mean, like I'm assuming you go through like because we do kindergarten through 12th grade for public school.
No, we go kindergarten to grade 8, and then you go from grade 9 to 12, and that's it. You switch over.
Yeah. That's how we do it too. So like typically it'll be like kindergarten to 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade's a separate school, and then 9th to 12th. So yeah, you go about 13 years is how long you're spending in school. And then you obviously go out to college if you choose to. But what I'm getting at is that they don't want anyone actually critically thinking, dude. They want you going in, studying for a test, you memorize shit, and then you can like just regurgitate the rules. They don't want anyone making new rules. They don't want anyone making their own systems where they can like operate and actually be a member of society. They want people to form the society instead of kind of creating the world that they want to see. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. See, I don't know. I don't have kids or anything. I have no idea what they're teaching them in school other than what I hear in the news. And they're telling them, oh, white privilege this and whatever that. And I'm like, yeah, that's just wrong. Or telling little kids, hey, you can decide if you're a boy or a girl right now. It's like, no, you fucking moron. It's a child. Child has no idea. You can't do that, okay? That if I had a kid and I found out the teacher says, hey, if you think you're a girl, you're a girl. I'd be like, no. You need to you get out of here. You teach English, math, whatever's on the curriculum. You keep that personal shit to yourself. It's a child, right? But then again, I think back to when, if my kid did say, oh, I feel like I'm kind of a girl, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Because I identified as a goth. I was painting my nails, wearing black nail polish, black stockings, right? It's kind of similar. Because when I grew up, you had your Genos, your punks, your skaters, your Ginas, your goths, right? And then you're just your regular ass prep kids, whatever. But everyone identified as something. You stuck to one style of music, so you're part of one group, right? So it's kind of like that. And then that was in elementary school, and then I got to high school, and then I outgrew it and became a little wigger, let's say, or just normal. Stop painting my nails, But geez, fuck. My phone rang. And
it is pretty normal to really kind of change as a kid. But what you're saying there for like what they're doing today, they're sexualizing these kids, dude. Like they're
basically. I think that's wrong. Like if a kid wants to identify as what would you say a goth would be? It's a style. It's a mentality, right? I don't know. But you're basically trying to convince kids that bit that they have in their pants is not their bit. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Going against science.
Yeah, it's not only that, dude. Like what you're saying, like a goth, that's a group, that's a style. You know, that's not a gender or a sexual orientation or whatever.
Hey, might
And
as
it's
well
weird,
start
dude. I
telling kids
mean,
that fucking turtles are squirrels now. That's not how it works.
yeah.
It's basically what
Well, I
they're
mean,
doing.
that's part of it, dude. In the U.S. right now, too, they're making it so that like if you don't necessarily know math, like they're basically saying that math is racist in the United States right now. I'm
I
not
heard
even
about
joking.
that
Like
one. I heard about that. That's
and
fucked.
it's insane, dude. Like, I went to school in the wrong time, if that's the case, because I fucking sucked at math my whole life, and I could have grown up to be an engineer if I was just a kid right now. You know what I mean? But instead, I work in merchandising, and I'm trying to get a podcast going. You know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what I'm doing.
But
So
you're a
I'm not
smart
lighting the world on
motherfucking
fire.
guy. I've listened to your podcast, the Dangerous World podcast there. And you really got a lot running upstairs, man. You do your research, that's for sure.
Thanks, dude. I
Freaks me
appreciate
out.
it. I mean, yeah, we try, dude. We went through some changes here recently. It's just me doing it solo, but I always have like guest co-hosts on and shit like that. But I just find it disturbing how the world's going, and there's so many commonalities with the way that the Nazi regime was doing their thing, the Third Reich, exactly tit for tat. I was just learning today, actually, this company called IG Farben that was part of the Third Reich. It was big pharma in the Third Reich. A bunch of companies came out of that. Bayer came out of that. IG Farben. You've got Johnson and Johnson, and you've got Pfizer and Moderna, and those are the ones that are making the vaccines right now. And so IG Farben was infamous for creating Zyklon B, which was the gas that they pumped through the gas chambers to kill all the Jews in the Holocaust, dude. Same company making that shit is making your vaccines. Literally.
Wow. Well, I guess
man.
they had to move in and doing something else. You know, maybe they're opportunists, right? At the time, that's what made the money, making the Nazis the gas, and now this is what was making them money.
Well, and I think that what it was is that Hitler was able to convince the German population who, I mean, it's easy for us to say that the German population was evil because we know how history presents them, right? And I'm not saying that they were good people for allowing that to happen, but they were tricked into it, dude. Propaganda is a powerful tool. And Goebbels, the propaganda, he was like in charge of Nazi propaganda. They had this shit down to an art, dude. I mean, they were incredibly skilled at using colors, using like specific verbiage to blame, especially the Jewish population, but all minorities really, for the problems that the Germans were facing. There was a major economic crisis on Germany's hands, and Hitler was able to make the Jews that perfect scapegoat. So all of these disenfranchised people were saying, hey, man, like, yeah, these guys are the reason that we're not able to get enough food, bread lines and all that kind of stuff. That's the Jews' fault. And so these people start supporting this stuff, dude. And it's sickening to think about today, but I think that that's what's going on, where instead of us saying it's a specific group of people, it's now a specific ideology. If you don't want to get your vaccine, or maybe if you don't support the government enough, you don't trust Big Pharma, those are the new Jews in Germany, really. I mean, it sounds harsh to say, but I mean, these are the people, and I definitely identify as somebody. I'm not going to get the vaccine. Doesn't matter what they put me through. I'm not taking that shit. I supported Trump. I don't so much anymore. I think he kind of helped us get in this position, to be honest. But the population or the sectors of population that just don't want to fall in line are the ones that are being persecuted now. And they're not going to be able to just put us in camps, right? They're going to have to slowly poison us or slowly get us to voluntarily get ourselves sick, either with vaccines or shitty food or whatever. And that's another company that came out of that IG Farben that I was mentioning is Monsanto. And they made all of they make all the seeds. Essentially every vegetable that you get at a grocery store is grown with Monsanto products. So they're getting your food, they're getting your water, they're getting your air, they're getting everything. And now they're making the vaccines, dude. So we do find ourselves in a position not enough people know about this kind of shit. And it's important to, like, I always tell everyone to start a podcast or to research the Nazi regime, the Third Reich. Because I believe that we're living in the Fourth Reich. And one of my buddies had said that a while ago. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I started kind of realizing, like, yeah, dude, the Nazis just reinvented, man. I'm sure you've heard of Operation Paperclip.
You mentioned that to me before. I looked it up a while back. I don't remember much. Been drinking too much during this COVID. I am an alcoholic now.
I hear you, dude. Dude, a lot of people are, man, and that's part of it, dude. Like, they're beating you down psychologically.
Like, check
And
it
that's
out.
part of that
Got a glass of wine right here. I said I wouldn't drink today. I'm at the point where I'm like, sorry, I'll go back to the paperclip, but I'm at a point where I've been drinking so frequently. Even if I go to bed early, I still wake up late, and I get these fucked up panic attacks for like 20 minutes. Like, I started, my chest starts like pinching. I can't fucking breathe. I'm like trying to take a breath, and I start shaking and shit, right? And then sometimes I have a glass of wine, and the fucking thing goes away. I'm like, that's not good. It's not good.
You know, dude, it's crazy that you mentioned the panic attacks.
I don't even need to drink a lot to get those now. Just like, if I drink too late at night, it fucks up my sleep, and I can still get one.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're a wine drinker, dude, that's one of the best things that you can actually drink if you're going to drink a lot of it, believe it or not. I mean, there's a lot of...
No. A lot of what, sorry?
That's just right now.
A lot.
No, I was just saying, like, that's just what you're drinking right now. You're not specifically a wine drinker?
No, I am. I drink wine all the time, but I have beer. Sometimes I drink beer and wine. So I might have a couple glasses and a few beers, whatever.
Well, and what I was going to say is it's funny that you mentioned the panic attacks and shit like that, because when I was a kid, I used to have panic attacks every once in a while, but as an adult, dude, I've been pretty chill. And I've been recently having a lot of panic attacks, not attacks, but just like feeling like I'm forgetting something or just feeling a little anxious, dude. And I think that that's part of the psychological operations that are taking place on a mass scale here. Because just about everyone I talk to says the same thing. Once you kind of come out to them and you say that, and you're saying like, hey, dude, I've been feeling uneasy lately, like just like something's going on or something's wrong. A lot of people feel that way, dude, and it's weird. And I think that that's, like I said, the psychological operations that these, you know, elites are kind of throwing at us. I don't know if you've heard of Tavistock. I know that we mentioned that we're going to get into paperclip a little bit, but there's a Tavistock Institute based out of Britain. And it really started back in the 1920s, but they started talking about it, acknowledging that it was a real thing after World War II. And Tavistock, the only purpose it was created was to try to find a way to implement mind control on a world level. So they're trying to find ways to scare the entire world population, dude. And I think that it's working. I think like that's where your panic attacks are coming from and shit like that. I don't think it's so much the alcohol.
No. It is the alcohol, because I'm not relaxing enough. So my body's not relaxed. And the thing about it, I learned this, if you listen to Joe Rogan episode 1109 with Matthew Walker. He's one of the top sleep doctors in America, actually. And I learned this, where when you drink, if you smoke a little bit of weed or you drink wine, any alcohol, a little too close to bedtime, it fucks up your REM sleep, okay? And REM is the most important part of your sleep. So every time you drink, so if I drink 5 days in a row, that's 5 days of REM sleep I lost, right? So I didn't fully knock out, which your body needs it. Your brain needs to recover at night. REM is super important for the brain recovery from the day. And then what happens is that if you stop on the 6th day, you don't drink any alcohol at all, your brain banked the last 5 days of REM you lost. That's why when sometimes, like, you notice you stop drinking and then you get all these crazy night terrors and freaking out, it's because you're getting like 5 REM sleeps in one shot, and REM is like the most extreme part of the sleep. So I've been drinking almost every day for months now. Maybe gone 1 or 2 days off, right? And the second day I feel fucking great, but the night before I'm sweating like a pig, right? But it's the drinking, and I drink way too late. That's what I think it is, for me at least.
Well, so why do you think you're drinking in the first place then? Is it because you're bored, or is it because like, because that's what I'm saying. I think, yeah, well, I think that part of it is the, and this is just me, dude, you know yourself better than I know you, but I can just speak for myself and like people that I've spoken with about this is like, there's not much to do, and there is this sense of anxiety, so you're drinking. You know what I mean? Because when you have anxiety, drinking helps, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like, it's a big problem.
Well, it's also because we opened up, right? And most people I got vaccinated. A bunch of people I know got vaccinated, so everyone's comfortable hanging out. So I've been doing a lot of trips with my buddies, man, trying to make up for the last year of not really hanging out with anybody.
Sure.
So like I just got back from fucking Lake Huron. this cool little town called King Carter, and that's where I went fucking streaking.
Nice.
And we drank all day, morning to night, and then at night we fucking eat tons of fucking shrooms and roam around the town. We met people, we were partying with them. So think of, well, I went to Grand Bend after, so I drank more there. So I drank 4 days straight, all day, plus 3 nights of fucking shrooms straight. Like, I'm in my mid-30s, man. Took me a day or two to recover, but...
I mean, dude, you got to live while you're living, man. I say as long as you're not doing some shady shit with kids or you're doing some fucked up shit, I'd say you're good to go, dude. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't... I'm in the camp where it's like you got to enjoy life, dude, like 100%. I don't... and I think that's... It sounds like that's how you are. It sounds like that's how your buddies are, too, dude. Like, you know, it's... Especially the way that the world's getting, it's like... I'm not saying don't plan for the future at all. I'm not saying that. But it's just like, dude... They're fucking like they're trying to ruin our quality of life. Yeah, and but when I say they, I'm referring to the government.
But
right?
the one thing I'll give you for that is I got too much time on my hands right now. So I bike, I exercise, like I'm pretty good with everything, but it's just there's not enough for me to do where I have to be sober to do it. Right? I don't go to the gym anymore. I wouldn't drink because I'm like, I got to go to the gym tonight, right? Or after work or whatever. But I'm not working right now. I'm working on getting a job again, and just too much fucking time. I sit there and I work out in the morning. I do this, I do that, and all of a sudden, I'll have a glass of wine, sit outside, have a stogie. And there you go. And that's how it starts. So.
Yeah, dude.
Bam, motherfucking bam.
It could be a lot worse, dude. Honestly, I mean, but yeah, I hear you, man. It's just between you and yourself how you want to do that shit, but. But yeah, anyway, with Paperclip, dude.
Yes, tell me about Paperclip.
What I was
Mr.
getting at
Conspiracy.
there was, yeah, dude, with all those things like the Nazis when they fell, they didn't really fall; they just rebranded, as I mentioned. And Russia, which was the Soviet Union back then, and the United States, along with Germany, they formed an alliance, and they did the Nuremberg trials, where a lot of the most guilty of the Nazis were killed. But Paperclip was a secret operation where the best scientists of the Nazi Party were smuggled through rat lines, they called them, to different areas in the United States, the Soviet Union, and Latin America. So they were legally brought over and protected, and that's where NASA comes from, dude. Werner Von Braun was a Nazi, and he started NASA with Disney. Walt Disney helped start it, and then Jet Propulsion Labs owner, his name is slipping my mind, Jack Parsons. And then L. Ron Hubbard. So you've got a Scientologist, you've got a propagandist with Disney, you've got a Nazi, and then you've got a Satanist. That was what Jack Parsons was. You know, he was working a lot with Aleister Crowley, who was a major occultist, big time into Satanism. So this is what forms NASA. And it's kind of interesting, dude. I was just reading about this today. They moved like 3 tons of Nazi gold along with all these folks, bunch of like gems and precious metals, and also billions of dollars in currency to support their living and to start projects. I mean, you get all kinds of really big entities out there today. And another one that comes from that kind of thing is Netflix, believe it or not. Edward Bernays was a major propagandist, big into mind control. And his, I think it's his nephew, started Netflix. And that's why you've got, so much propaganda being pushed through Netflix. It's crazy, dude. All these people at these top levels are connected in one way or another. And it sounds like crazy shit to talk about. But if you just do a little bit of research, you can find the same names being repeated over and over again. Same shit with the CIA. The CIA was the OSS before World War II ended. And Allen Dulles, the first director of the CIA, was 100% a Nazi supporter. Him and his brother, John Foster Dulles, were setting up like Brown Brothers Harriman, which was the private bank that Prescott Bush worked at, who was George Bush's dad. He worked at this bank, and they literally were funding IG Farben, that big pharma German company that I was telling you about. All of these things, dude, they're all connected at the top, and they all are Nazi supporters and eugenicists, dude. It's all about population control for them.
It's almost like if you watch Marvel, it's like Hydra. It's like Hydra pretty much was the Nazis. They went away. Then later in Captain America: Winter Soldier, they were like found like hidden in Shield and all that shit. Like they were everywhere, but they were still around. Which they thought they got rid of them. It's fucking crazy. It's all one big web, right?
Exactly,
Hey,
man. It's a spider web.
you told me, hold on. You mentioned George Bush, and it just came to mind. I don't know where I heard this. I don't know if it was your podcast or I read this somewhere. You know this for sure. But I think every single president of the United States, except for one, I can't remember which one, they're all
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, they're all bloodline related or connected, right? Through somewhere down the line.
Yeah, back to the Windsor family, who were also Nazis. The Queen of England.
Holy, Queen of England was a Nazi?
Yeah, back then. I mean, there's pictures of her. You could probably even Google it right now if you've got a computer. Queen Elizabeth, when she's like 15 years old, doing the Nazi salute, dude. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You may have to use DuckDuckGo, but you could just type in like Elizabeth Windsor, Nazi salute, and it's just a very interesting thing, dude. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Canada too right now. I mean, I don't know if you.
Yep, there it is. Got it.
Interesting.
Secret 1933 film shows Edward, whatever number that is, teaching this salute to the Queen.
Crazy, huh?
Oh. Okay.
And there's a lot of weird stuff going on with Canada right now, man. With I'm sure you've probably heard the theory that Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son.
Yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Did you
prove that?
Did you? Well, who was it? My Cuban buddy. He's like really into this shit, and we were talking about it actually the other weekend, and he explained. I never knew this, but he told me that Pierre Trudeau and his wife were actually swingers, and they yeah. So and they were really good friends with Fidel Castro, and they went on some anniversary trip, or I don't know what it was, right? And they went to all these islands in the Caribbean, but there was one island where they put out a publicity ban because they wanted their privacy, and no one knows what island that was, and they speculate that it was Cuba, and they met up with Castro. The wife had her affair, and at the time of the trip was pretty much Trudeau was born 8 months after, or some shit like that, right? And go look at any comparison of Trudeau and Castro online. They look exactly the fucking same. There's this one of Trudeau when he's like a teenager, 20s, and then whatever, and his stupid little mustache that he has now, it's this exact same mustache that fucking Castro had. The nose, the eyes, the forehead, the whole structure. He looks nothing like Pierre. He looks exactly like fucking Castro.
Dude, and it's very weird when you talk about the bloodline things. I'm sure you've heard that that Hitler was a Rothschild, through Mayer Rothschild.
What's that? The Roth. What is that?
That's just one of the Rothschilds.
Rothschilds? Who are they?
Oh, yeah. So the Rothschilds, they're one of the richest families of all time. They have essentially invented the Western banking system. So there was 5 brothers in I believe they came out of England, but they split up, the 5 brothers, and they went on to control 5 central banks in Europe. And man, they just took over the money system. They did some shit that was so heinous, they changed their name from Bauer to Rothschild. And they're one of the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati, along with the Rockefellers, along with the Kennedys, the Astors, who the patriarch of the Astor family died in the Titanic because he was against the creation of the Federal Reserve here in the U.S. But so the Rothschilds are just a major, major player. Like if you were to hear somebody with the last name Rothschild, you just don't fuck with them. You know what I mean? You do not fuck with those kinds of people. And we actually had a mayor in my city here in Tucson, Arizona. We had a mayor Rothschild here. And there was a major, major pedophile sex trafficking ring that was busted when he was in charge here of Tucson. So weird shit. But so look into that, dude. Look into the Rothschild conspiracy a little bit. And so there's this, Alois is the guy's name. I think I said Mayer before. Mayer was the one that gave birth to Alois, if I'm not mistaken. Alois was in Germany, I want to say, or Austria. And he was having an affair with his maid by the name Maria Anna Schicklgruber. And this is Hitler's mother. And Yeah, I mean, it's just a fascinating deal, dude. Where you get somebody that's potentially one of the worst human beings of all time, coming from one of the most powerful families of all time, and so Hitler was fighting in World War I, he got gassed and he was blinded, and they sent in the World Authority on hypnotism. He was his doctor, and so there's a really interesting theory that Hitler was the first ever real major subject of MK Ultra, of like mind control. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't even really the one kind of steering the wheel in his own brain when he was carrying out the Holocaust and these kinds of things. So it's just a weird coincidence. But like, as far as bloodlines go, we mentioned the Cuban connection with Trudeau, but Anthony Fauci, there's theories that he is Mother Teresa's son. And that actually kind of lines up pretty well. They look very, very much the same. Mother Teresa was a Satanist. She was actually baptized in India in the name of Shiva the Destroyer. This is an Indian goddess of destruction. What else do we got? I mean, there's tons, dude. It's so freaking many. It's like hard to remember. But yeah, man, these people, they all just kind of fuck each other. They all get around and they all spread the seed, and they try to create the most powerful. And it's all inbred. It's all, a lot of inbreeding. Princess Harry and Meghan Markle are 17th cousins, dude. You know what I mean? Like they're all all related.
Whoa! Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are related.
Yeah, dude, they're 17th cousins, man. Yeah, we did a big episode on that with Tinfoil Hat and Sam Tripoli.
Tinfoil Hat. Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, man. Dude, it's crazy when. So it's
never heard that. I've never heard that before. Never.
Yeah, she's also a direct descendant of Robert the Bruce, who was a Scottish leader. So they painted this picture that this half black chick from America was an outsider to that royal family, but she wasn't in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they were meant to get married. It was like, it's like a contract. They signed these people's lives away, and they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. They walked away from the royal family. Like, that was part of the plan. That was not, they always make this shit seem like it's like they're deviating from something or there's some kind of chaos. It's all controlled, though. It's
propaganda.
Controlled.
It's propaganda.
Exactly, dude. It's exactly it.
I don't like them. The shit they say, they are so unrealistic. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's sad.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. One of the things they were talking about, how they vowed not to have any more children to keep a smaller carbon footprint. It's like, okay, cool. What are you trying to say? We shouldn't have less children? What is this, China? Like, China actually allowed their fucking citizens to have more kids because they realized that putting a block on it was actually going to fuck up their population or something like that. It was
China's in serious trouble right now. They try and act like China's going to take things over. They're struggling right now. It's been flooding there a lot, and you don't get any media in or out of China without China wanting it.
Oh yeah, they have a block. They have a block. Yeah, you got to use the black web or something to get on like Instagram or anything. Like all social media is blocked. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's a firewall, major firewall that they've got there. But yeah, dude, there's serious infrastructure problems in China, and they follow that art of war, which says appear weak when you're strong. What are they doing right now? They're appearing very strong, dude. So It's the exact opposite. They're weak as fuck, but they're appearing like they're strong. And they're talking a lot. And they're trying to – that's what I was going to say is they've actually bought land in Canada. They own a ton of stuff in Canada. And they
they could pretty much bury our economy if they pull it out of all the real estate.
Yeah. Well, they own major ports here in the U.S. too. So it's not just you guys. They bought runways in Texas, and they've actually bought a runway here in Arizona, in my home state in the U.S. too. There's also been drills going on where they're shutting down highways here in the U.S. and they're practicing landing jumbo jets on them. They've never done that.
Wow.
In history. So what's the purpose of that,
one?
Dude?
Have you seen one?
No, but I've just seen the articles posted. My dad, who's not a big conspiracy theorist at all, he actually sent me one, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Well, the thing about China is something is ramping up because, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but throughout the week I was reading articles of, I think I don't know. I'm not gonna say maybe England or something, but there's a lot of countries that are sending out warships and submarines out into the West Pacific. Canada we own a bunch of submarines. We just activated them. And the reason we activated them is so that we're going to send them out into the West Antarctic, because apparently China's out there and we need to be out there too for a possible threat, right? Canada doesn't get into wars much, and our submarines, I forget why we bought them, and they've been sitting there and costing us a dickload of money trying to keep them maintained, but now we're finally activated them.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I actually just did an episode with a really cool pastor who is he's not like your typical pastor. He talks a lot of shit. You know, he's a good dude, really great guy. His name's Sam Hanold, I think is how you pronounce his last name. But he was talking about how that, I believe that's going on off the coast of India. And you've got the United States, you've got Canada, you've got England, you've got the Netherlands, and you've got Japan, among some other countries that are all getting in there and trying to stand up to China a little bit. Just because, dude, China's doing some weird stuff. And the way that they're doing things, they've been buying decades worth of grain from the United States every week for some time. Like, that's why there's this artificial food scarcity that's going on right now. If you listen to a lot of like conspiratorial type podcasts, everyone mentions prepping. Everybody mentions prepping now. And that used to be kind of like a psychopath type shit. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck are you going to stock up on food and water and all this stuff? Mm-hmm. But everyone's doing it now, dude. Walmart, actually, here in the U.S., a lot of Walmarts have added a prepping section. And they may just be trying to capitalize off of it. You know, capitalism, that's kind of how that works. But it's very interesting, dude. And it's scary, man, because I've got a little sister.
Sorry,
next generation, just because.
Hold on, my bad.
If
someone called my phone, I got to learn how to turn off phone calls while I'm recording a fucking podcast.
Oh, it's all good, dude. No, I don't even know how to use this Skype shit, dude. I'm lucky that you even taught me how to turn my camera
on. Hold on, there's one thing. You know what? It's a ritual now. That's what it is. Every time I get to around the 30-minute mark, I tried to hold out. I'm like, I could probably get through this podcast. I got fucking hold it. Nope. Around 30 minutes, I got to fucking piss. Every time. Go listen to any of my podcasts. Go around the 30-minute mark. 30, 35 minutes, and you'll hear me do this. I'm like, fuck, it's happening again. It's a mental thing now, man. As soon as I see 30 minutes, like, oh, I gotta piss. Give me a sec.
Hell yeah. Am I supposed to ramble or just sit here?
I'll cut out the... You can sit there. I'll just cut out the dead spot.
Gotcha.
Be right back. Okay. All right, I'm back.
Perfect.
So, there was one thing I wanted to bring up, and you brought up China, but I was gonna ask you because you probably do know about this, but I was learning that China knows how to control the weather, at least the rain.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the United States does too. Have you heard of HAARP? HAARP?
Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah, so they've actually been doing this since the Vietnam era. I mean, they've been creating little artificial storms. It was raining constantly in Vietnam. That's part of their weather, but they were also manipulating that in a way. But yeah, they do this. Like, so HAARP is not only to control the weather, it also allegedly has some mind control aspects to it. Because I don't know if you know much about frequencies, but you could literally put things in songs or even in podcasts that make it more pleasing for people subconsciously to hear it. Or you could put in a frequency that would make someone more scared.
Well, yeah, it's like in horror movies, right? When there's those scenes and you're getting really anxious, it's because they put this underlying frequency. You don't know you're hearing it, but you are. It's like like in the back.
100%.
And I've watched this whole documentary on it, and that's why at those moments when it builds up into kind of like something is about to happen, you're kind of getting anxious at it, and it's just like, right? It's hidden frequency. Yeah, I know about that.
Exactly, cool. And this is kind of more old school conspiracy theory stuff, but chemtrails. I'm sure you're familiar with what chemtrails are.
Yeah, I watched that whole Joe Rogan "What If" on the chemtrails. That was fucked up.
It's weird, and there's more footage coming out of like the planes being equipped, like gutted planes, and they put in the materials to do it. It's actually confirmed that they've done that in Australia. And if you watch a clip from, I want to say 2015. An old CIA director here, John Brennan, under the Obama administration, he straight up admits to weather manipulation. They call it weather modification, but they do it through chemtrails. They inject aluminum, which causes Alzheimer's. I don't know if you've heard Joe Biden say that in 10 to 15 years, all the hospital beds in the United States and Canada are going to be filled with Alzheimer's patients. It's not only because we're drinking White Claws and shit like that, or beer or whatever out of cans. It's because of the aluminum in your deodorant, the aluminum in foods, aluminum everywhere. I mean, and they're also spraying it through the air. And what the aluminum does not only fuck with your brain, but it helps to make these pulses from HARP go out. They bounce off the stratosphere and they come down. And a lot of 5G critics, the 5G cell phone towers, they say that those are also to act as transmitters to help that frequency move around. That's why I brought up the paranoia early on.
That's why even in Canada we banned. America did too, the Huawei, because if Huawei got in, they would have taken over the 5G. And my buddy was telling me something about this, and you would know it too. There's a way they could use the 5G networks to literally cook our brains. Literally send out a signal, and we would all just go zzz, drop.
Well, and that's what I think the vaccines are, man. You know what I mean? I know that you just said that you took one. I'm not trying to freak you out here, but there's blood sample proof, like photos of there's a company or an organization, I should say, out of Spain called La Quinta Columna. That means the fifth column in English, right? La Quinta Columna. So you have this group of very, very intelligent Spanish scientists getting together, and they find in the blood samples of vaccinated individuals, not only are the blood cells collapsing, they're also, if you hold an LED light over them, you can see fluorescent white dot lights. They're also ordering black light cameras all over the U.S. in grocery stores. So the theory here is that they'll be able to tell simply off of a camera who's vaccinated and who's not. And the ones that are vaccinated are allowed to do their grocery shopping. They're allowed to participate in society. And the ones that are not vaccinated just simply have to figure something else out. You know what I mean? Or get put down. Tennessee just signed into law through executive action that it's actually legal to relocate people and put them in segregated camps. So, I mean, this is how the fucking Holocaust started. It's how the Holocaust started.
Yeah, I actually had to talk about this. I was listening on the news radio that I call into. It's called News Talk 1010. And Evan Sullivan, he's one of the biggest journalists in Canada, actually. He's on City TV or CTV or whatever, plus News Talk. And they let you, because interactive radio. So they'll talk about things. They'll have subjects and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Call in. I call in every day. Especially, I'm home, I call in 3 times a day now. Sometimes it's crazy. And so he had this doctor that he was talking to, I forget his name, basically said that we're going for a 4th wave in Canada, but we shouldn't lock down because it's not going to be as bad as it was months ago when no one was vaccinated. And he said people should get vaccinated because the point now is to keep people out of the ICU, which people are being, like even though a lot of the cases are people who are vaccinated, there's only 2 of them in the ICU right now. And there's a bunch more, but they're not vaccinated. So that's the purpose, right? Stay out of the ICU because there's people who have real problems like cancers and stuff that need to be in the ICU, elderly. And he goes, we need to get to a certain percentage. Let's say like 80, 84%. Once we get there, we are fucking fine. And then obviously the other, let's say there's going to be like 8% of people that you're never going to convince to take the vaccine. And yeah, and we can't force them, right? So then I call in and I tell them, I'm like, okay, so they're going to do vaccine passports now. Pretty much you can't really do much. Like if a lot of businesses say you can't come in if you're not vaccinated, that's their call. So these people who don't get vaccinated, they're essentially going to lose their lives. And I'm like, but you guys said that once a certain percentage gets vaccinated, that small percentage that absolutely won't do it, why not just leave them alone, right? At that point, because once we're at that percentage, then the whole country is safe, and that little percentage, they won't harm us anymore. So why are we passporting and we're going to fuck their lives over when it really doesn't matter? And he goes, well, you know, that's how it is, and you should be responsible and get vaccinated. And I'm like, but if we get to the number, why are you gonna fuck that little number, right? And they wouldn't answer it.
That's great that you asked them that, dude, honestly, because they're lying 100%, because it started off, the number was 50%.
Yeah,
right?
but hold on, before I cut you off.
Yeah.
They basically, even the doctor said, we can't force them. But you are. If and you know what, actually, I remember what he said to me. I go, what about them? That small percentage, right? And he goes, well, they're not really going to have much of a life then, are they? And I go,
yeah.
Oh, you just said we can't force them, but if you don't give them much of a life, it's either, hey, either have a life or you don't. I'd say that's forcing.
Yeah, we're not going to force you, but we're not going to allow you in grocery stores. We're not going to allow you to access your bank account. We're not going to allow you to pay mortgage because you have to pay that through your bank. They're not going to force you in so many words, but they're going to make it impossible for you to survive without doing it. And I think that the more people that fight, the better. But they move the goalposts in these kinds of things, man. They start off by telling you, hey, we need to get, let's say it starts off, just to make it simple, 20% need to get vaccinated, and that'll be a great start. Let's start there. And they're like, okay, we got to 20, let's go to 50. Let's go to 70. Let's go to 80. And once we get to 80, I promise that's all that we need. But then they're like, well, shit, we got 80 so quick. Let's try and reach 90%. We reach 90%. Let's try and reach 95. They just keep pushing it like that, dude. And it's that whole, there's an analogy of a frog boiling in a pot. If you're trying to cook a frog to eat it, which I'm sure, you know, no one really does that. But
I like
back
frogs.
in the day, you know, I eat frogs. Frog legs are great.
I fry them.
Yeah, dude, exactly. So, like, but if you were to take a live frog and you just threw it in a pot of boiling water, what does it do? It jumps right out. But if you put a frog in room temperature water and you turn the flame on, its organs melt essentially, and it just sits in there. It gets more adjusted to the heat and it dies. That's the frog in the pot analogy that we're seeing, and this is what the government does.
Yeah, it's fuck. What was I gonna say? God damn it! Brain fart! Brain fart! Brain fart! Brain fart! Fucking bandit.
Well, I'll go.
See, here's the goddamn alcohol now happening. Okay, cool.
Hey, it happens, man. You get brain fog.
I'll try and remember.
Since you mentioned COVID, are you familiar with Carrie Mullis?
Oh wait, hold on, hold that thought. It just came back to me. So, this is my conspiracy theory, okay?
Okay.
So, obviously, there's going to be a massive amount of population, let's say just North America, that are going to fight against the vaccine. So, at first, I'm thinking this is population control when this all started. Now, here's how it's going to work. It's 50-50. Now, I don't know which one it's going to be. They're either like, let's vaccinate these fuckers, and because they complied, they'll live. But the other ones that didn't comply down the road, you're all fucked. Or they said, the people who get vaccinated, you're fucked. We're going to kill you. And the ones that didn't get vaccinated, actually, they were the smart ones. We're going to let them live. I don't know. It's kind of this little thing that's running in my head. Is a weird conspiracy in that sense. Like, it's almost like a
like
game.
Like change the formula?
It's like a game, right? It's like, let's see how many people we can convince to die. And it's
sure.
It goes both ways, though, right? It's just, I don't know which one they picked. Did they pick us that took it, or did they pick the ones that didn't comply?
So you're saying that like they'll tweak the formula either to be safe for the ones that took it in the beginning, and then they'll make like a deadly vaccine for the ones that are so hesitant to take it?
No, like what we took now, it was good for us now, but down the road it's going to cause us all serious problems, and we're all going to get fucked, and they're going to say, oops, and then everyone that didn't take it is like, oh, thank God I knew it, right? They're gonna suffer by not having lives for a little bit, but I don't know. It seems like a movie situation for me. It's like how I'm trying to play it out. It's like, it's almost like if you think about it, the 1%ers are like, okay, this world is overpopulated. It's fucking burning. And that's why I was asking about China, being able to control rain. Because I'm like, how is it possible? I've read this. And like you said, multiple countries have figured out how to control rain. Why is the whole goddamn world burning right now? More than ever. It's freaky. Especially at a time like this. So it's almost like the 1%ers are like, let's play a game. Right? Like almost like Saw. Right? It's like, if they're stupid enough to take the vaccine, fine, they're the ones that have to go. Half the population, gone, now the world's fine. Or the ones, fine, they didn't want to comply with us, we don't want them here anymore. Half the population, gone. Population control, settled.
Dude, the weather is getting very weird. Just to jump back to that real quick, it snowed in Brazil or some weird fucking tropical country.
Nah,
like
but
hail.
no, that's not new because I think it was about 5 or 10 years ago. It full on snowed in Hawaii and they're using their surfboards as fucking like snowboards down the mountains. That happens.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand. I mean, it's snowed here in spring before in the Sonoran Desert.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It happens every once in a while. There's weird little situations like that. But then you get like golf ball size or hail, coming down in certain spots. Weird weather manipulation like that. But it's, to your point, I'm sure you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones where the elites want a world population of 500 million. And everyone's saying that the world is overpopulated, but the entire world population can fit in the U.S. state of Texas. Everyone can fit in there. Everyone would be packed.
Really?
But every single human, yeah. The world's not overpopulated, dude. That's more that propaganda that they try and tell you. And to your point, when you're talking about Harry and Meghan talking about how they don't want to have more kids to increase their carbon footprint, tell them not to fly their fucking private jet and see what they say. That's one of the worst. Yeah. That's one of the worst things that causes carbon. You know what I
know. I know. That's why I don't like them. They say these silly things. It's like, okay, we're the general public. Who are you trying to convince?
Yeah.
Like there's people out there who have 3 kids and they fucking ride a bike to work, and like you said, you have a fucking jet.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
I see what you did there. We're the general public. I like that. That was sneaky, dude. That was good. No, man, it's a weird deal, dude. It really is weird. And I remember you mentioned to me a while ago Nibiru, that Planet X shit, where there is a theory that that's coming back around to hit us again. You know what I mean? And so it's possible that the elite, you've got Jeff Bezos flying into outer space. Elon Musk is digging tunnels underground right now.
Hold on. Let's add to this. Not only that, what is it? The Pentagon, for the first time in how many decades, is finally admitting to. They're not calling them UFOs anymore. They call them like IFOs, or they're admitting to aliens. UAP, yeah. So they're admitting to aliens for fucking 50, 60 years, man. Ever since what is it? Area 51 and all this shit. Now they're like, yeah, no, it's true. It's true. We got these fucked up things flying around, and the technology is out of this world. Nibiru, that's them.
Yeah, the reason that I believe, and this is just my opinion, I'm trying to talk with a high profile, like world-renowned ufologist. I'm in contact with his team right now, trying to get him on. What he believes is that the UFOs that we see, they're not aliens. And the reason that the Pentagon is admitting to it right now is because what the elites are doing with those aircrafts, what we're calling UAPs all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And that's another way. That's another aspect of propaganda. It's like, no, UFOs aren't real, but UAPs are. It's the same shit. It's just naming it something different.
Yeah, but UFO is unidentified object.
Flying object, yeah.
Yeah,
and a UAP is
object.
an unidentified aerial phenomena. It's the same shit with a different name. It's like calling shit poop.
But it's because because of X-Files and all these like sci-fi movies, we've what was the word I'm looking for? Made similarities with aliens and UFOs, right? So when people hear UFO, they think aliens. Meanwhile, that's not what it means. Just unidentified, right?
Well, sure. And what I was getting at there is that I think that, and this is what this guy believes. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to act like he's coming on when I'm not sure if he is or not. But very, very high profile, educated dude. And he believes that it's the elites that have mastered that Nikola Tesla technology, which is free energy, and aircraft that can move in unfathomable speeds and unfathomable direction, maneuverability. It's really humans flying these things. And they're trying to say now that everyone's been digging at aliens since Roswell, especially since Roswell, I should say. They're trying to say, okay, yeah, you dumb motherfuckers, aliens are real. Go ahead and look into that more. When really it's humans trying to master technology that they are not comfortable giving out to the public yet. There's a weird deal, and we did an episode on this. The honeybee, they operate the same way in outer space, which they've done experiments. They brought them on rocket ships. They operate the exact same way in outer space as they do on Earth. And the theory here is that UFOs are actually powered by the same technology that's in the thorax of the honeybee. It's fascinating shit, dude, because bees are a very, very weird. It's weird, dude. It's weird. We had a really cool paranormal investigator that had been researching that. Someone actually reached out to him that, you know, has NASA connections and shit like that. And he told him this, and he sent us the documents, and it was cool, dude. It was really interesting stuff. I'm not big in aliens, but I think that it's a fascinating deal. But I do feel like it's one of those distractions to keep us occupied.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that you say that because, like, yeah, I am into aliens. I'm into like these conspiracies, these theories. Like, it's believable to me. Or like I told you, the Nibiru one. If anyone wants to check it out, it's called what is that podcast series? Conspiracy Podcast Nibiru. Maybe I'll put a link in the bottom of my description.
Oh yeah, it's just called Conspiracy Theories.
Yeah, Conspiracy Theories. It's a podcast, and then find the episode Nibiru Part 1 and 2. Fucking wild stuff. Believable, very believable. But like for me, if you go watch this documentary from the CBC, it's called The Mushroom Kingdom, or the Kingdom Mushroom. I don't know. I'll have to put that in the fucking link too.
I know you're linking yourself away, dude.
Yeah. Well, anyways, at least they go to the right spot. Anyway, so basically that documentary shows how scientifically a mushroom came here when it was just crust and water, and that's what started life because it broke into the Earth's crust, the mushroom, and started minerals and proteins and amino acids and all this stuff, and that's what made life. So, if we took all the mushrooms off of Earth, we would die, because the mushroom spores is what recycles everything back to the planet. And then now that you say the bees, right? What else? What happens if all the bees go away?
We're done, dude.
Exactly. So bees are like the most wildest fucking thing, and so are mushrooms. So that's why when you were saying that those ships were like designed out of inside of the bee.
The thorax, so it's like their middle area, and like the bees' wings don't make them fly.
It's their
bees
system.
Actually levitate. Yeah, bees levitate. They have anti-gravity properties about them in their biology. The wings are just to guide them.
That sounds fucking alien to me.
Exactly, dude. And, you know, it's crazy that you bring up mushrooms like that, man, because, yeah, I talked with the guy from Spores Lab up in Canada. I'm not sure if you've heard of Spores Lab. Mm-hmm. Right. So I talked with them. He would talk with you, dude. You could reach out to them. They're really fucking cool. But he was saying that, yes, he was confirming what you're saying there, that the original mushrooms came down in a comet situation type deal. And what's interesting about mushrooms, dude, unlike other plants, they breathe the same way humans do. They breathe in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide. Whereas, you know, the average plant breathes in carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. So, yeah, I mean, mushrooms are more like animals than they are plants, technically. Right. So that's what's a weird deal about mushrooms. I'd like to get more into bees. We did a 2-part series on bees for anyone that wants to see it. But it's just a weird deal, dude. And like Nibiru, I don't know how much longer you want to go here, dude, but I've got some weird shit on Nibiru. We did some stuff about the Anunnaki, which is supposedly where they come from.
Okay, I'll hear this. I want to hear this. But before you say that, did you know also that mushrooms are the largest living organism in the planet?
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the mushroom network, they're all connected through like psilocybe or whatever you want to call it. You can watch this documentary called Fantastic Fungi. It came out in 2019. It explains everything, and it's one of the greatest fucking mushroom documentaries you'll ever see. I'll put that in the description. Yeah. Fantastic Fungi, and it's with Paul Stamets and shit. Yeah, and he shows you this graph of how like the mycelium is all connected in this massive network, and it's wrapped around the whole world, and it's the same kind of network as our brain network. Like if you look at it on like a scan, and it's firing neurons, which is allowing plants and trees and itself to communicate with itself.
So it's like a collective consciousness among mushrooms.
Yeah, so basically there's this brain network that's wrapped around the world, and it's all intertwined all around.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Dude.
Mushrooms are fucking wild. And then my favorite part about mushrooms is that he said in the documentary, we probably only found maybe 10% of the world's population of mushrooms. So there's probably some crazy mushrooms out there that can give you superpowers or more neuro skills or healing properties or who knows what. Like the potential is out of this world. We haven't
There's a
found it.
really weird mushroom species called lion's mane, and that does exactly what you said. You know, it gives you.
He talks all about
it
that.
Regenerates.
Yep.
Yeah, it regenerates brain cells and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which we've been told is impossible, but lion's mane mushrooms can do that.
And it doesn't even
Weird.
look like a mushroom. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, dude, I buy them all the time because I'm trying to keep my brain cells, dude. I damage mine every day, so I'm trying to keep them.
You know, surprisingly, it's not that hard to grow.
I believe it, dude, but I just don't know how to do it. Like, I haven't taken the dive into doing that stuff.
It's really not that hard once you get started. Like, I'm gonna start growing my own mushrooms. I actually have like a lot of mushrooms on me right now.
Oh, dope.
These are
Are those psilocybin mushrooms?
These are shrooms, yeah. Psilocybin. They're called envy.
Penis envy.
No, envy. This is the mother. Penis envy is a sister. Is a sister strain from envy is the original. Not Paul Stamets. Who's the other big mushroom guy from back in the day? Hold on, let me Google his name.
That's dope, dude. No, yeah, I don't know if you've got buddies that you know, have a lab or anything like that, but Jeff from Spores Labs is a really cool dude to talk to about that stuff. Just blew my mind about all the shit with shrooms, and you would have a blast talking with him.
Okay, I can't find his name. Anyways, I can't find his name, but I was reading that Joe Rogan talked to him. Not Paul Stamets. What's the other fucking guy's name? If I put in Paul Stamets, maybe I can find it.
But yeah, dude, I mean, there's just too much, dude. There's too much shit to get into and to worry about. But at the same time, I don't try to spread that fear porn, dude. I try to, like, you know,
fear porn.
Learn about it.
No.
Dude, I'm trying to learn about it so people can at least, like, educate themselves, and, like, you know, knowledge is power, like they say. So I try to learn about this stuff and spread that stuff around, dude. I think it's important.
No, mushrooms are great. Well, what was I gonna say? It's okay. So the guy that found it, he's somewhere along the levels of Paul Stamets, where he was like this big shroom educator, biologist, microbiologist, whatever. But I remember reading that the envy mushrooms, because when I was reading about these, the guy found them in the Amazon in like the mid 1970s, and he's the one that brought the spores back to North America and made this a thing over here. And then, of course, the penis envy came after. Penis envy is really tiny. You notice that it's tiny. The envy strain is double potency. So if you take gold caps of any kind, just say 2.5 G's, that's what gets you fucking lit. Then you got to take half of that of this. So if 2G, like basically this is it's double of gold cap. So if 2G's of gold cap gets you fucked, then only take one of this. I took 1.3 grams the other day. Like it depends too, because I weigh it all out. One time I took like 2 grams. Oh, it hit me fucking hard. Another time I took 1.5. Still hit me hard. The other day I took 1.3. It hit me harder, like almost harder than the time I took 2 grams. Like I was going fucking cross-eyed for like 40 minutes, man. It's like, oh shit, fuck. You know, it was great.
Well, it might have something to do with, I know it has a lot to do with your mental state, right? So like if you've been kind of stressed out and you took some less than you normally would have, but you're stressed out, doesn't that have something to do with it?
No, what I think it is the psilocybin is in the colors a lot, and there's a lot of broken pieces in there. Okay, and I know some people say like, oh, it doesn't matter if you take the stem, the head, or the root, or whatever the fuck, right? I feel like the smaller heads have a different effect than the bigger heads. The heads have a different effect than stems, and I know this because I've tested it on myself. Like a couple of years back or whatever. 1 week I would take only stems. Another day I would take only heads, and one day I took only little heads, right? And then I started mixing and matching, and I've always noticed the difference. So like this bag is a bit crumbly, so when I just kind of weigh out like a 1.3, that crumble could have been more head than stem, which is what did it to me. And the time before could have been more stem than head, right? It's really interesting stuff, is what it is.
Yeah, dude, it should be incorporated into education somehow, I think. You know what I mean? Just because I think that people can really expand their minds more. I'm not a big shroomer type dude. I like my booze and I smoke weed, but that's about it, man. And, you know, it's funny with, you know, we were talking about CIA earlier. The CIA, they found a mind control serum that would kind of work in some situations, but it was marijuana and tobacco. It was an extract of the two. And it basically, the way they describe it, it's exactly like that scene in Pineapple Express in the beginning where the dude's like underground and they're fucking like just laughing when he's trying to be serious. Mm-hmm. They literally report on it being like that. It was called TD, just like the two letters T and D. It's a weird deal, dude. The CIA has been shady as shit, dude, since the beginning.
Have you ever listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with a guy named Tom O'Neill?
No.
It was which one was it? Okay, so it's episode 1459, and he has a book called Chaos: Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s.
I did see that, dude. I did.
Whoa. Yeah. Like he's been studying Charles Manson for 25 years and was discussing how Manson was working with them and how there was situations of soldiers that were working under the same psychologist as Manson that committed murders, but they snapped out of it. They're like, when they found him, he was all fucking whacked out, and then once he snapped out of it, he's like, what happened? Yeah. It's like, dude, you just killed this person. And he's like, are you serious? I literally just went to bed. Next thing they find him in a forest, fucking blood. Like, it's just wild shit. But that podcast, wow.
Yeah, dude, that is a great episode, and I can't believe I can't remember the dude's name. But yeah, Tom O'Neill. But yeah, Sirhan, the guy that shot Bobby Kennedy. They believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was under that same shit. One that I kind of blew my mind when I saw it was Jim Jones, the guy that ran that Jonestown cult. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that's where the term "drink the Kool-Aid" comes from. He poisoned like 900 something people with Kool-Aid because they were all in one cult, and every day they would condition them to drink Kool-Aid. They're like, all right, guys, we're gonna go meet our maker. Let's drink the Kool-Aid, blah blah blah. And like, it was not poisoned, but the day when Jim Jones actually wanted to kill his cult, there was poison in it, and he told them, and they all willingly drank it. No one was forced to drink the Kool-Aid, but they all chose to drink it. But he was very, very connected with the CIA. Part of MK Ultra, and they were researching how cults could operate like that. And I mean, Jim Jones, he ran one of the most infamous cults of all time, dude. And I think that that's going on a mass scale right now. I think that's on the world stage where metaphorically so many people are drinking the Kool-Aid. People are lining up. If we were sheep, we don't need a sheepdog to herd us into the slaughterhouse. Sheep are jumping over each other to get into the slaughterhouse right now. In my opinion, dude, I think people want to be controlled. Because no one really knows what the fuck's going on, and people want answers, you know. So it's sad, dude. It's depressing in a way, but at the same time, I think learning about it and talking about it and trying to override it, I think it could work, dude. I think, you know, I don't know if you're a big believer in good and evil, but I believe that evil is very powerful, and they tend to look like they're going to win, but then good always kind of comes out on top. So we'll see, dude. We'll see what happens, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for whatever happens.
Nothing else I can really do except enjoy the ride the way I enjoy my ride. Don't worry, man. I believe in evil. I've seen it a bunch of times when I've overboarded on the mushrooms.
Sure.
I've seen it. I've seen both sides, man. I know exactly. I know what death looks like. I gotta tell you though, it's peaceful. Very peaceful.
Yeah, dude, I've had a near-death experience, man, and I would definitely agree. So that's why I'm not too afraid of dying. I used to be as a younger person, but now, I'm 30. When it comes, and you can't avoid it. We're all gonna die, dude. No one gets off this rock alive. So I mean, like, I'm just trying to live my life positively, and I'm trying to interact with people in a good way that would make. I want to leave the world better than I entered it in. You know what I mean? And that's very, very counterintuitive to what the elite want us to do. The elite want us to just be part of the system and find out how we can just be in it rather than change it. And I think changing is very important if it's changing in a positive light. But yeah, dude, the one thing I was going to say about Nibiru, I don't want to leave your audience hanging on that. The one thing I was going to say about Nibiru is that there was a moon Kingu that essentially created Earth. It cracked into Earth, splitting it in half, billions of years ago. And, so essentially the Earth, it started out as like a half of a sphere, and it over time formed into a sphere. I don't know if the Earth's flat or if it's round or whatever the fuck it is. I don't think it is what they say it is. I'll tell you that. But yeah, like the ice melted and all this stuff melts. the bottom half of that planet that Kingu, the moon of Nibiru, cracked into, settled in between Mars and Jupiter, cracked into billions of pieces, and that's what we call the asteroid belt today. And then the top half of this planet that got hit by Kingu, called Tiamat, that settled in between Venus and Mars and essentially became the Earth. So it's an interesting thing if you subject yourself to that theory, and that's an Anunnaki-laced theory. But crazy, dude. It's fun shit, and there's no bottom to the rabbit holes once you start getting into them. It's just a fun deal, dude. I love doing this kind of stuff, man. It's fun meeting people like you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. I love people with wild ideas because I got them too. But
exactly.
Hey, like you were saying, the Earth, it's not round. It's not flat either.
It can't be.
No, our atmosphere is round because that's just the way it kind of structured itself. But if you actually take away the water and everything, it's really fucking weirdly shaped. It is mostly round, but there's a lot of gaps and shit around you, right? It's just,
I think it
seems round. The atmosphere makes it seem round.
Sure, I think it's more like a, I mean, this is oversimplifying it, but like a 20-sided dice. It's something like that. You know what I mean? Where you've got like a crystal. You know, you've got your flat surfaces. It's very misshapen, but yeah, it's more like a grid type of a situation. I think.
Yeah, or it's like a
runs off of the Earth.
It's like a ball of, it's like a think of a meatball and a dog took a bite out of the side of it, right? It's like some weird shit like that. I don't know.
Well, and that's what that theory of Tiamat, which was Earth originally before it was broken in half by Kingu, one of the 7 moons of Nibiru. So yeah, it's a weird theory, but yeah, you're right. It's like a meatball that was taken. A bite was taken.
When you say Kingu cracked it in half, remember I told you when the mushroom was here, it cracked into the crust. So is that kind of their way of saying like the mushroom was from Kingu and that's what cracked half into our, like right into the crust and in like the half? It could be something like that.
It could for sure, because something I don't know where humans come from. I've been getting
mushroom.
more and more. Sure, I mean, well, there's that. There's the stoned ape theory, which is what you're talking about there, where monkeys started eating mushrooms and then their consciousness developed on a higher level.
No. That's not it. Okay, fine. The consciousness happened from the mushroom, but the mushroom was first. Okay, so I gotta put that documentary here. You're gonna watch it. It's 40 minutes long. Okay, the CBC. It's called The Kingdom. How mushrooms created the Earth, and watch how it plays out. It started out okay, so we were a rock because of volcanic eruptions or some bullshit. It was crusted. Water came here from frozen asteroids that kept hitting the planet. That's how water was here. The mushroom came. It cracked into our core, started minerals, amino acids, stuff like that, proteins, and then the fuck is that flying by your head? That thing is. Oh, is that a fan or what is like a robot?
No,
is that a robot?
It's my screen print press. I print these shirts, dude. I print all my shirts that I sell on the website.
So you're just moving it. You're moving it. I'm like, does this guy have like a fucking robot or something with him? Like,
yeah, dude. No, I don't fuck with robots, dude.
So it basically, like, then the mushroom got into the water and started algae, and then algae got back on the earth and started creating moss and stuff like that, and then things started happening. You just watch the documentary; it'll blow your mind when you watch it. And this is scientifically true, right? What you see in this documentary, and that's how it happened, and I believe it.
Interesting. And then I'll check it out, dude.
And then you go watch the Fantastic Fungi after that, and then you're like, holy shit. You start recontemplating things, like, you know.
I'll check it out, dude. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. I'm always down to learn about that kind of shit. I don't know if you've heard the idea, too, that there was some sort of nuclear explosion on Mars because of the radioactive soil there. It's like some element that's not found in space anywhere except for Mars. It's found on Earth here, too, but it essentially comes from radioactive isotopes with half-lives, of thousands and thousands of years. And then if a nuclear bomb goes off, it would leave traces of this, what do you fucking call them? Whatever the periodic table is, atom structure, whatever the fuck. But yeah, there's some weird shit on Mars too, dude. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there with space. I don't get too into space. I like focusing on what's going on here on Earth because there's so fucking much right now. But I might start branching off more into those outer space theories and more paranormal stuff in the future.
Yeah, I think there was life on Mars prior, like they said. That probably was like our mother planet. That was a possibility. There's other things recently. I read about it once. I haven't really looked into it, but we found a structure out in space somewhere. Like there was like a full on structure, and they didn't know what it was. Something built it. That is not an asteroid. It's a structure out there. And I remember reading this. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, there's like pyramids and weird shit like that on Mars too. You know what I mean? And the pyramids could be, the idea with the pyramids here on Earth is that there was some ancient form of like a 5G cell tower network, a communication network essentially. And I mean, if there was pyramids on Mars too, it's possible that humans here on Earth were communicating with whatever is going on Mars too. And we're trying to get back there. So maybe there was some sort of nuclear war that ended it. And we're trying to go back and rebuild after all this shit ends.
You know, it's like the thing that really caught my attention there was when you talk about propaganda. And I always thought this. Actually, not when I was younger, but like kind of when I'm getting older into my like late 20s or early 30s when I started getting into stuff like this, is that movies, I feel like a lot of movies are being made to get us okay to an idea. Because that one day that idea is going to come. Because a lot of things that movies were made 30 years ago, it's a thing right now.
Predictive programming, man. That's what that's called.
Yeah, it's like we didn't have battery-powered cars back in, the 1980s. I remember when you would watch like Total, like I don't know, I don't know what movie, okay, but any movie where they had electric cars and you hear them whiz by, go that kind of humming battery noise. All of a sudden, a Tesla drives by and I'm like, it sounds exactly like it. Right?
Yeah,
that was a sound effect back then. And this is a real battery running today, and it sounds exactly the fucking same. How do they know it's going to sound like that? Right?
Dude, check this shit out, okay? So Werner Von Braun, that Nazi that I mentioned, that talked about the Nazi that I mentioned that started NASA, he wrote a book a long time ago about I think this was in the 30s, I want to say. He wrote a book about a man named Elon that would colonize Mars.
Oh my god. I heard about that actually. I did.
That's some fucking predictive programming for you right there, dude. You know what I mean?
That's fucked. It's almost like when we were watching Transformers, right? They pretty much like helped us build the pyramids and like they came like from remember it showed the rover on Mars and he was like in Transformers Part 1 and the Transformer walked in front of it. Whenever I watch these Mars footages, I'm always like, where's the Transformer? Where's, like, one day, man, one of these fucking movies is going to be the real deal. Independence Day.
Absolutely. A lot of them are, dude. A lot of, like, Black Mirror is one of the greatest shows to really kind of learn about, like, what the future kind of holds for us. I mean, they have social credit score episodes in Black Mirror. They've got DARPA robots in Black Mirror. DARPA is the American company that's behind the vaccine here, and it was created essentially to combat terrorism or to essentially beat other countries to the punch. But for some reason, this military organization in the U.S. helped roll out the vaccines. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you've seen Black Mirror before, but it's a phenomenal show.
I did. I watched a couple episodes and I stopped watching because it was way too fucking realistic. Like it was way too, realistic. I was like, nah, fuck it. If this is gonna happen, I don't need to watch it on TV now. Yeah. It's like it looks possible. And that right there freaked me out. And it says I'd rather watch things that take my mind away from reality, not fucking show me what reality probably will be.
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it's a weird deal, dude. And I feel like those have some sort of ritualistic component to them, where if enough people watch them, enough people talk about them, it helps manifest that reality. But they're entertaining to me, man. So it is what it is, dude.
Anyways, hey, listen, let's cut it there. It's a good hour and 21 minutes and 8, 9, 10 seconds. That's good. That's a good listen for somebody.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Of course, dude. No, it was fun, man. I always like getting on and just kind of having a loose chat like this, man. All my episodes, I have like fucking topics that I need to hit. So this kind of stuff's fun. I've
been going through your episodes, man. That's what I love about your episodes, man, because they're so detailed, man. So structured and detailed. You get like when you're talking about, see, mine, it's all over the place sometimes. You go from this, from that, from China to this, to the planets and stuff. But yours, when you pick your topic, you're really getting something out of that topic. So keep that shit up, man. I love that.
Thanks, dude. I mean, people need both, man. People need the stuff that is fun to listen to and all that kind of shit too. So it's always, I mean, I appreciate the compliment there, man. It's a fun thing, fun hobby of mine. Trying to make it a full-time job, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, man, maybe it'll get picked up from like TLC or Discovery Network or something like that.
It'd be cool, dude. Trying to make something happen. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, keep up your work too, dude. I know that people like your show a lot, and you've got a good social media presence there too. So you'll make something out of it too, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's the one thing
Yes,
I
sir.
always when I get sometimes I get private messages and people will be like, man, you know what I love about you the most? And I go, what? They're like, I never know what I'm gonna see or hear from you.
Exactly, and it's the
You
exact
never know
opposite
what's
of what
coming.
you said about my show, and that's why I'm saying your kind of stuff is just as important as the conspiratorial, but also fact driven shit. So yeah, dude, it's a great release for people, especially with all the fucking depression going around, man. So it's important. It's really important. So keep it up.
Yep, I got to get back on it. I kind of slacked this summer, but sorry everyone who's listening to the General Public podcast. I was trying to make up for last year, partying like you wouldn't fucking believe. Well worth it. Well worth it.
I noticed that your shows dropped off a little bit, like as far as like the consistency of releasing them. I know that it's part of just like the whole way that shit's going on. But yeah, dude, get back to it, man. Get back to releasing more.
I definitely am. I have 3 more guests coming next week. I have this
Good.
I have this episode with Tom Cruise impersonator. I've been holding on to, and I got to post that one. This guy's he's fucking hilarious. Holy shit.
That's funny, man.
He actually he's such a good Tom Cruise impersonator. You know how they rebooted Animaniacs?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they rebooted it. It came out a few months ago, and I didn't know this until we were talking. But sometimes they want, like, just say cartoons or B movies or something that, like, productions that can't afford actual Tom Cruise. They hire guys like this to do the Tom Cruise.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So the Tom Cruise cartoon character in Animaniacs in 2021, he was the one that voiced it.
Oh, wow.
Because he's so good at it, right?
Cool.
That was really cool. He told me that. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I just started watching that cartoon. I was like, that's fucking awesome, right? He's like, yeah, I do shit like that. I was like, what? I literally...
Wow, yeah.
I found the guy on, Cameo?
Yeah.
I got a cameo from one of the Big Bang Theory cast for a family member's birthday, and I saw this Tom Cruise, and it was really cheap. Like, well, not really cheap, but it was a couple $100 I was like, that's pretty cheap for Tom Cruise. And then I look, and I'm like, oh, that's not Tom Cruise. I'm like, holy shit, that looks like Tom Cruise though. I'm like, fuck. So I found him on social media, and hey, man, you want to do my podcast? He's like, okay. So pretty cool.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, it's a great way to kind of meet people that cameo shit is. So, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
I hope you keep doing it, dude, and just fucking. I mean, I don't know. As far as the alcoholic shit goes, man, I drink, dude. I'm not saying you're an alcoholic, but I definitely am. I like to think I'm a high functioning alcoholic because I get my shit done. I have a full-time job and I do my shit, but I definitely need to lay off the booze.
You will, you can, I will. I definitely will. After this weekend, I will. It's just, I've been having so much fun, man. I have gone, like, I've done a bunch of cottages and camping and road trips with my buddies for the first time, and a lot. That's why I've been slacking on my podcast, because when I get home, I'm tired, and I kind of feel like I'm so beat up mentally that I don't even try and do a podcast because I don't think I can give it my all, right? And if I can't, I won't record that. I'm like, because I'll just be like slurring and like stuttering. So I kind of like, I'm trying to get fresh again so I can do it, bam, bam.
Yeah, dude, you'll get it, man. It's fun. I love doing this shit, dude. I can do it all the time. So, yeah, dude, let me know, man. Let me know how this episode does for you, and we can see if maybe you can get on with. I do like group chats. I've been doing that mind control series lately, and I don't know if you kind of have any kind of things that go on in Canada where you feel like people are under some sort of trance or mind control shit, but the mind control stuff
of course. I was gonna mention it to you before. Might as well mention it now. But you know our premier Doug Ford.
Doug Ford, no.
Well, Doug Ford's our premier of Ontario, right?
Okay.
And so they opened this up and they said, okay, you can have up to like 25 people outside. This guy's daughter marries a fucking Muslim cop. What does he do? He goes to a mosque and invites the whole mosque. There's like 500 people saying, you're all invited to my daughter's wedding. I don't know when the wedding is, but dude, You literally just opened us up from a lockdown. So it's okay, you're allowed about 25 people outside, and then you go to a fucking mosque and invite 500 people. That's a little funky, eh?
That's what.
So you're allowed, but we're not?
That's what Obama did, dude. He had 700 people for his 60th birthday party in Martha's fucking vineyard.
He brought it down to 600. He goes, okay, listen, because of COVID, I'll be a little more. I'll bring it down to make it more safer. We'll do it down to 600.
Well, my mistake. 600 is safe, but 700 is not.
Yeah. I know. So it's like oh the like you said, the elites. They can do this, but we have to keep doing this. Fuck them, man. I've been going out. Fuck it. As soon as I got my vaccine and my family got it, I'm like, whatever. I've been going out like crazy, socializing. There's no more social distancing. I don't care.
It's rules for thee and not for me, man. That's what they say.
Rules for thee and not for me. Fuck.
That's what they do.
Anyways.
Anyway, man, tons of fun. I really appreciate this.
Before you go, I'll tell you for kicks. But remember I told you I call in a news radio, right? So one of the topics was, well, Obama just disinvited 100 people. If you were Obama, what celebrity would you have disinvited? Right? As I called in and I would, and they're like, yeah, why? Who and why? I said, well, I would have disinvited fucking George Clooney for being the shittiest Batman ever.
Dude, he fucking was, man.
And the dude started laughing his ass off, and he's like, oh my God, that's fucking hilarious.
It's 100% true. Yeah, he was the worst Batman. I think they only put him in one fucking movie because he was so shitty.
Yeah,
that was a Tim Burton Batman, too.
No, it wasn't. No. It was Tim Burton only had part 1 and 2 up to Batman
Michael
Returns.
Keaton?
Yeah, and then part 3, I forget who they gave it to. That was Val Kilmer, and then part 4 they gave it to George Clooney. Val Kilmer wasn't that bad.
Well, Val Kilmer's got the jawline for it. And Ben Affleck wasn't as bad as I thought he would be. As bad of an actor.
No. He's terrible.
As bad of an actor as he is, he wasn't as bad as George Clooney.
His face, but his face doesn't fit the mask.
Yeah, they had to change the mask.
His face was like a baby. Like it looked like an ass cheek sitting out of like assless pants or something. Like it was just so squished. Like it didn't work.
Yeah, but don't tell me that the best Batman was fucking Christian Bale, because it was Michael Keaton, 100%.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, then Christian Bale, and I think Robert Pattinson.
Really, dude? I thought he sucked, dude. I hated his voice.
I loved him.
Heath Ledger made that fucking movie, dude. The one that he was in, at least. And then Tom Hardy. The villains always make those movies, dude.
Yeah. No. Oh, what was the name? Bane, Tom Hardy? Holy fuck.
Yeah, dude. Good shit.
I loved it.
So,
well, anyways, Robert Pattinson's going to fucking nail it. That's 100%.
You think so? Is that who it is now?
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer?
No.
Oh, buddy. He's going to be a damn good Batman, let me tell you.
Shit. I'll be interested to see that, man, because I fucking hate that dude. That's the guy from Twilight.
Yeah. But he's...
Oh, Jesus. Well, let's see. I can't hate on him, but let's see.
And then, what's his name? He plays the Penguin.
Danny DeVito?
No. That was in Batman Returns. No, but...
Oh, I thought that's what you're talking about.
No. The fuck's that Irish guy's name?
Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah. Joel Schumacher was the one that fucking did Batman 4. He fucked it all up.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Hold on, what's it called? So his name is Colin Farrell.
Okay. That's a weird guy.
He plays Penguin.
I guess because he played the lobster in that fucking movie. But yeah, no, they. You think they would have stuck with someone that looked more like Danny DeVito, man? Because he played a great Penguin.
When you watch the trailer, try and figure out who's Colin Farrell. They did such a good makeup job. You won't recognize him.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'll check it out, dude. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those superhero movies, but the one that I liked the most was honestly Joker, just because I don't like all the crazy shit. And the Joker was dope, and I loved seeing Robert De Niro get shot. That was like the best part of the movie. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to check it out. I need to get more and more fun shit, dude.
You know, if you like the Joker movie, you're gonna like this Robert Pattinson Batman because it's dark, just like that.
Dope.
And even the trailer, like I know like DC trailers, like sometimes I don't want to watch them because they show too much. This isn't part of the DCEU. This is on its own. The trailer doesn't give away much, but it'll show you where it's going with it, like style wise. And I'm telling you, man, it looks fucking awesome.
Hell
Way
yeah, dude.
better
That
than Ben
sounds fucking
Affleck.
dope. Well, yeah, I'm down to check it out, man. But yeah, dude, again, man, I had fun. Now I have to piss. So
Yeah, I
I'll
gotta
let you
piss
go,
too. It's starting.
dude.
It's coming. It's coming. All right, man. Thanks for doing my podcast. Rock on.
Of course, man. Thank you very much, and have a good one, dude. Take care.
You too. Later.
All right, bye, buddy.